everyone, it's Chantel from the Mommy Bookworm, and this is going to be an extensive TBR for April. I was so disappointed in how I did for March that I want to over and exceed the boundaries for April. So I have a ton of books that I would like to read, and I'm honestly probably not going to get through them all, but I'm going to try, and that's all that matters. So let's just get right into it. I want to start with the books that I have already started and have just been moved from my March TBR to my April TBR. And the first one is Rides of the Hearts by Antoine Bonner. I talked about this in my March wrap-up, and I'm not a huge fan of it so far. It's about this boy who has gone off to college. He's 21 years old. Everybody hated him. He was the nerd in high school. The girls were repulsed by him, but all of a sudden, all the girls are falling for him and just all over him, all because of some creature that literally comes out of nowhere. Like, I don't know. It's so confusing. I'm hoping it gets better, but I'm not counting on it. The next one I have started and moved from my March TBR to my April TBR is American River Tributaries by Mallory M. O'Connor, and this is the first book in her American River trilogy. It is so far really good. There's so much going on. It's talking from about 4 or 5 different perspectives, and it starts off with the history of these families in the 1800s and is now in the 1960s. Everyone is connected. It's a really good story. It's about love and loss. So far, I'm only about 40% through, I think. I'm not that far, so I can't really give you a whole lot of details, but I got this from the online book club, and so far I'm really enjoying it. So that should be one of the first ones that I finished this month. And the next one, I actually forgot to include on my March wrap-up. It is The Shadowland by Elizabeth Kostova, and this is the book that I was supposed to read for my time-traveling book club, and it's based in Bulgaria. This woman is traveling to Bulgaria in order to teach English. She happens to be left at a hotel that she was not meant to be at and meets a family there. Well, she ends up taking one of their bags by accident, and when she gets into her cab to go to her actual hotel, she finds out that there is an urn in this bag with ashes, and she is determined to get these back to the rightful owners. So far, it's been really good. I really want to find out what happens. She has a cab driver that helps her get to the places that she needs to be, and he's on her side, or so I think. I don't really know. I have to find out. But I really want to get this finished. Now, whether or not that will be in this month, I don't know, but I'm going to try. Now I'm going to talk about the audiobook that I know I would like to finish in this month, and that is The Shape of Water by Guillermo del Toro. It is about Eliza, who has been mute her whole life, and she is done with the repetitiveness of her job as a janitor. She eventually meets a strange creature in Baltimore's Occam Aerospace Research Center and begins speaking with him through sign language, and they develop a bond, and she eventually falls in love. Richard Strickland is a soldier that found the creature in the Amazon, and he is determined to dissect him before the Russians come and steal him away. Eliza is then forced to give up everything to save her beloved. It just looks like a really good book. I've already started it. I'm not too far in it. I think it's a 13-hour book, and I'm only like 45 minutes in, so I have a ways to go, but so far so good. The next couple of books are books that I'm going to be reading for book clubs, so let's start with The Guernsey Literary and Potato Peel Pie Society by Marianne Schaefer and Annie Barrows, and this is the book for Pages and Popcorn Book Club. It is based in World War II era, so it's a historical novel. Everybody in that book club says it's really good. I don't know much more about it than that, and I'm just really looking forward to reading it to find out, because being that vague about it makes me more interested than ever. So yeah, and I will be reading this month, but I don't have to, so if I don't get to it this month, it's not because of anything specific. It's actually the May book club book, because we're not having book club this month, so I'm just trying to get a head start on this one. The next one is for my Bin Book and Book Club, which you guys can be involved in if you would like. We are going to be reading Shadow Weaver by Marcy Kate Connolly. I just really love this cover and the sounds of the book. So Emmeline has had a special power since she was born. She is able to control shadows. When some noble people come to her home, they tell her that they can cure her of her powers. Emmeline's shadow Dar tells her that she can stop them if Emmeline is willing to make Dar a real person. So the nobleman ends up passing away in the night. They go on the run because Emmeline does not know what else to do. She did not expect this to happen, and now she is forced to decide how she is going to give her shadow life, or if she even wants to. So it looks really, really good. I'm super excited about reading this, and I will be doing a live stream to discuss this book with you guys if you are interested in reading this as well. The next one is The Snow Child by Eowyn Ivey. It is for the Time Traveling Book Club. I got to choose where and when the book was placed for this month, and it was Alaska in the 20th century. This is exactly why, because I really wanted to read this book. So it's based in Alaska in the 1920s, and a couple has moved out there and is living in the harsh environments. Well, they really want a child and they are unable to conceive. So one day they go out and build a snowman. Well, the next day they go out and there's no snowman, but there is a little girl out there all by herself. So they're curious as to why there's a little girl out there, how she's surviving on her own in the harsh temperatures and harsh weather of Alaska. But as they get to know the little girl, they come to love her as their own daughter. And then this part really gets me. So this is off of the synopsis. So it says, "In this beautiful, violent place, things are rarely as they appear, and what they eventually learn about Faina will transform all of them." Now, does that not sound amazing? It just piques my curiosity even more than it already was. I am so excited to have got to pick the actual place and the time period for this month because I really, really want to read this book. And it was perfect. I honestly didn't realize that it was in the 1920s. When I said the 20th century, I was just hoping that it was in the 20th century, and thank you! It was. The next one is Bad Girls of the Bible and What We Can Learn from Them by Liz Curtis Higgs. This is actually for my Bible study group that we just started, and I am really looking forward to this book. All of the people in the Bible study are girls, so it's going to be really awesome to see what this has. I have a workbook coming in the mail sometime soon, and I will let you know how this goes. So I also wanted to start something really cool. I got this from another booktuber, and I will link her channel in the description box. I would like to start reading one book a month that is from a different country and eventually read a book from each country in the world. So this month I have chosen Written in the Stars by Aisha Saeed, and this is based in Pakistan. I talked about this in my March book haul. It is about a girl who is from Pakistan and her family is very set in their Muslim religion. She ends up going to America and falling in love with a boy that is not Muslim, then finds out that her parents have an arranged marriage set up for her. So she must go back to Pakistan and decide whether she wants to marry this boy or explain to her family that she has fallen in love with someone else. It should be really interesting. The next book is one that I have seen a lot of on YouTube and BookTube. It is The Hazelwood by Melissa Albert. It just looks so good. It's about Alice Proserpine, whose grandmother was a famous author of some fairy tales. She lives on the estate called the Hazelwood, and after her grandmother dies, a creature claiming to be from one of her grandmother's stories takes her mother, and she is forced to figure out what happens and how she can get her mother back, and the only thing that has come from her mother is a warning saying stay away from the Hazelwood. So this is really exciting. I really want to know what happens. It just seems like a really good book with lots of activity, lots of action. I'm looking forward to reading this. The next one actually came in a subscription box this month, and it is The Bakersfield Dozen by Christina McBride. It is about 13 high school students who appeared in a video in compromising positions, and then all of a sudden after this happens, 4 girls go missing. Bailey finds a note in her locker on the last day of school of her senior year, and it is inviting her onto a scavenger hunt. Well, she assumes that it's from her boyfriend and is going to be fun. It actually ends up leading her to the first casualty, and she is forced to discover all of these kids and figure out what's happening and who did it, and she may be closer to the killer than she ever imagined. I think this is going to be a very, very good thriller, mystery, awesome book that keeps you on your toes. I just really want to know what happens to her and if she finds the killer or if she knows who the killer is. Like, it's going to be really good to figure this all out. And the last one is I Have Lost My Way by Gail Foreman, and of course you all should know if you've been keeping up with any of my videos that I am so excited about reading this book. I read the sneak peek in March and I fell in love with it and I need to finish it. So this will actually probably be the first one that I go to after American River Tributaries because I have to read that one, and then this one is coming up right after that. I'm really looking forward to this. I'm not going to go into any more detail because I've said it about 1,000 times, so I'm sure you're sick of it, but I am so excited about this. So there you go. That is everything that I plan to read. I actually have some books that I'm going to be reading for school. Those include The Music Lesson by Victor Wooten, Project Management for Musicians, a couple artistry books. So there's those things, but I didn't know whether I should really include those, so I just left them out. And plus it'll be in my vlog this week, so you get to see that. That's everything. If I finish these, it'll be a shocker. If I read anything else, it'll be even more shocking. Let's hope that I'm able to pull it off and make an even better month of reading this month. So there you go. If you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. Comment below what you want to read for the month of April. If you'd like to see more great content, please subscribe and be sure to click the bell icon in order to be notified every time I post a new video. Thanks for watching, and I will see you soon. Bye!